leaders would have ever enacted the ban, and they're bragging about it even still today. Old school, old model, bureaucrat swamp thinking. In fact, for more perspective, let's take a look at the H1N1 pandemic, swine flu, 2009, 2010. Yes, the Obama-Biden years. This fast-spreading pandemic worldwide, particularly deadly to children, unlike corona, which is more deadly to older people. In April of 2009, yes, Obama and Biden years, a few days after the pandemic was detected in the U.S., Obama's HHS secretary declared a health emergency, freeing up some money. I'll give credit. That was a good move. By October of 2009, well, more than 20,000 Americans had been hospitalized, and more than 1,000 American citizens were dead. 1,000. And only then, 6 months later, did then President Obama finally declare a national emergency. That year, the CDC estimated 60.8 million Americans were infected, which ultimately resulted in over 274,000 Americans being hospitalized and nearly 13,000 Americans in a one-year period dying. Worldwide, about upwards of 575,000 people died in 2009 from swine flu, H1N1. The Obama-Biden administration, or as Joe says, the Biden-Obama administration, they never enacted a travel ban, not once during the H1N1 pandemic. There were no quarantines. They weren't quick to act to declare an emergency. 1,000 Americans were dead. And by the way, others were infected. Now, the media mob, how did they react back then? Do you think they were going as hard as they are against Obama and Biden as they've been going after Trump, and they did next to nothing? If you want to know how corrupt the media mob in this country is, you should be disgusted by what I'm about to show you. This was after 1,000 Americans were dead. Tens of thousands had contracted the disease. Oh, then he decides to declare a national emergency. Great timing. Now let's watch the media coverage.
Well, let's talk about this. Is something that is concerning a whole lot of people these days. We're talking about the H1N1, and now the President Barack Obama, declaring the swine flu outbreak a national emergency should there be a worst-case scenario. But administration officials are emphasizing here, Frederica, it's not that they are expecting one.
More than 1,000 people in the U.S. have died from the H1N1 virus, 90 in the last week. The federal government had predicted there would be 100 million doses of vaccine by now, but as of this weekend, about 11 million were available. When we hear emergency, alarm bells start to go off. What exactly does this declaration mean?
Well, the first thing to say is people shouldn't panic when they hear this.
Health officials battling the H1N1 flu virus this weekend have received 2 booster shots of their own. President Obama has declared the virus a national emergency.
Notice a slight difference in the coverage? That is how corrupt the media mob in this country has become in 10 short years. That is disturbing. What they have done and what they are currently doing is hurting our country. This defines them. You ever had any doubt that they have an agenda? Well, that proves our case. Never before has there been this unholy, corrupt alliance existing between the mob and the media and the one party they love with their agenda only. The same people that have been lying hour after hour, day after day, week after week, month after month now for over 3 years. Russia, Russia, Ukraine, Ukraine, impeach, impeach, Corona, Corona. That's how disgustingly corrupt they are to the core. It is repulsive. Anybody that watches that video, 1,000 Americans dead, no urgency. It was like nothing had happened. Meanwhile, President Trump, he takes unprecedented action within 3 weeks. Travel ban, quarantine. What does he get? Criticism. You listen only to the mob and the media, you might think that the president maybe caused the virus. You begin to think that, oh, he probably cooked it up in a laboratory somewhere to destroy the country, likely with Putin and Russia and Ukrainian mad scientists. That's how distorted and conspiratorial and the level of hysteria and lying that's gone on for 3 years. This alliance is hurting this country. They are not serving we the people in any way, shape, matter, or form. They are advancing a political agenda. Journalism, I declared in 2007, is dead. It is dead. It is done. It is buried. And it has now become disgraceful, state-run, liberal, radical, extreme socialist TV. That's who they are. You would think the world is coming to an end, listening to them. This virus is serious. We've been telling you that from day one. We need to take the flu seriously. We need to take cancer seriously, this virus seriously. Of course, we all need to prepare accordingly. And by the way, this is not pie in the sky tonight. This will be innovative. This will allow future presidents to have travel bans a lot easier. This will allow this time of cooperation between the top companies in this country to work hand in hand with our government to keep us safe. But you do need to understand, this is a fact, there are going to be dramatic increases in the weeks ahead of the number of Americans who test positive. And they're going to hype that up, I guarantee it. That's what the mob does, and they'll blame Donald Trump every second. They can't acknowledge a single good thing this president has done. They're against the travel ban, xenophobic, racist. They're against the quarantine. That alone saved countless thousands of Americans from contracting the virus.